Hello and welcome to part 5 of the Tim Burton style character. This is David Ward, and when last I left you, we had just finished working on the body and the legs and feet. Now we're going to continue on and finish out the arms. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in here into edit mode, and let's go ahead and get these guys going. Okay, so we got the top half of the arm, the upper arm and shoulder bit. Probably need to work on that a little bit more, but we'll save that for later. So let's go ahead and just extrude out. This is going to be the elbow area, and I guess we're still rotating around the 3D cursor from when we scaled the legs down, so let's just go Control comma, and that'll reset the rotational cursor right there to what's selected instead of around the 3D cursor. So anyways, let's go ahead and scale that on the x-axis a little bit, straighten it up, and then let's extrude out one more time, scale it up. It's going to be the forearm. We'll extrude one more time, bring that and scale that down. Okay, and so now we're about ready. We'll go back in and modify that once we get the hands done. Hands is usually the hands take a little while to do, so we'll go ahead and get those done first. Actually, I guess I need to turn on my screencast keys. There we go. Okay, so we got the wrist here. Let's make one more loop there for the wrist, and we're going to extrude out, and this is going to be the actual hand. So let's go ahead and flatten that out some. Palms facing down, and scale on the z-axis. There we go. And let's go ahead and turn on proportional editing for now. Might have to turn it back off as soon as we start working on the individual fingers, but for now we'll leave it turned on. Okay, so now let's jump in here, and I guess since it's a cartoon, we'll just give them 3 fingers and a thumb, and that'll save us a little bit of time too. So let's go ahead and add a loop here, Control R. Just add that in there. The thumb's going to come out right here, so let's just grab this whole hand and then scale it on the y-axis to thicken it up a little bit. Maybe we'll just grab this side and just kind of maneuver it around. Oops. A little thicker there. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the thumb. Let's grab these 2 faces here, go to our top view, and extrude out a little bit. Actually, let's just drag it all the way out to about right there and then scale it down. And then we'll do like we did on the body and the legs and everything. Just add a couple of loops in here to get the better definition. Okay. Scale that down. And let's add one more loop in here. Scale that down. So we got like a knuckle here. And let's go ahead and add one more loop right there by the knuckle so it has more area to bend. And let's grab the tip. Let's go to vertex select mode. Scale that down. And everything's looking okay. Let's shape this up a little bit better. Bring this middle point out so it's a little, the webbing between the fingers is a little more prominent. Now this, keep in mind, this is supposed to be a claymation character as well, so we don't want to get too detailed here on the hands. So let's just try to keep it fairly simple. Round off this part of the thumb here. Let's go ahead and turn off the proportional editing for now. A little bit more control over what's being moved. Okay, and let's select this whole tip of the thumb here, and we're going to rotate it a little bit, and maybe we'll turn the fall off or the editing back on, increase it up a little bit, just rotate the whole thumb like so. Tell you what, let's go ahead and add one more loop around the middle of the thumb and therefore around the palm of the hand too, so we can grab the base of the thumb and bring that down. Okay, so that's starting to look alright. Well, the base is. The tip of the thumb looks a little odd. So let's work on that. Let's just select this whole piece and just go ahead and smooth it. There we go. Maybe a couple of times. And then, tell you what, let's just select each of these loops and smooth those as well. Hitting the wrong button. There we go. Smooth. Okay. I'm going to jump into sculpt mode now and get the grab tool. Maybe we can make this thumb look a little bit more better. Okay, that's looking better. Just thicken it up some. Okay, let's add one loop right here, and then scale it, Alt-S, scale it, make it skinnier, scale along its normals. There we go. And let's go ahead and grab the smooth tool here in the sculpt mode and just kind of gently brush it over the rest of the thumb. And okay, that looks a lot better. We'll probably make it a little bigger once we get the rest of the fingers in, but for now that'll work. Let's go ahead and grab these two faces there. Okay. Go to our top view. This is going to be our... Actually, let's do the middle finger here. This is going to be our middle finger. So we can copy this later once we get this one created and shaped up the way we want. We can duplicate it over to the other guys. So just did like on the thumb, just extruded it out and then adding some extra loops there for the joints. Let's go ahead and turn this off for now. Let's add one more loop right there. Just scale it down. Select the vertices. A lot of this also is kind of just trial and error, so if you're making your fingers and hands and they don't look exactly like mine, that's perfectly fine. It might look better than mine. Sometimes I just get kind of lazy when I'm doing hands, because okay, so how's that looking? That's not too bad. Maybe a little bit longer. So let's... don't want to select it and scale it. I just want to select it and then just move it out, so I'm not messing up my joints that I worked so hard on. Okay, so let's get the tip of the finger a little sharper. About like so. Maybe about like that. Maybe make this joint a little bit bigger too. Maybe make this joint a little bit bigger. And it's looking kind of weird with just the one finger, but I think it's starting to look okay. Let's grab that and scale it. Like again, don't want to scale it because it might mess up some of the proportions. Okay, so we got that finger pretty well done. Let's go ahead and just select all the loops there, and we'll Shift D, duplicate it over, and then this will be, like I said, cartoon style. This will be the pinky then, and then one more time over to this side, and then this one will be the index finger. Okay, so let's go ahead and select these two faces here for the pinky. Go and delete those, and then we'll do the same thing over on the index finger. Delete. Okay, and now we'll just grab, actually let's grab the edge select mode and go ahead and sew these together. Probably need to come back in here and smooth these out a little bit once we get it all done. But for now, this will work. And there we go. Okay, so the hand looks decent for just a quick little deal. So let's make it look a little better. Let's add one more loop right there so we can add some knuckles. Actually, let's kind of straighten the fingers out before we worry about that. So let's just select this whole area of fingers, and let's go ahead and turn on the proportional editing. Okay, so now let's go ahead and drag those back until they match like where the thumb is, and then we can grab the side here, just these guys, and move those down. So we get a corner of the hand a little bit better. Okay. And then let's mess with the actual palm. Bring that up some. And then the pads of the bases of the fingers. Bring that up a little bit. And let's round the wrist off. Let's go ahead and select that, and then maybe look at our top view. Let's go ahead and scale it on the y-axis a little smaller. And let's select the pinky and make it a little bit smaller too. And then move it back a little. And like I said before, I'd like to make the thumb a little bit bigger now that we have the fingers made, so let's just select that. And Alt-S to make it just a little fatter. Not too much, though. About right there is probably good. And sculpt mode, we have the smooth tool already selected, so let's just go ahead and brush this in here, straighten this wrist out, looking kind of squared off in places. And let's bring this part of the palm down a little bit. And then let's grab this guy and just smooth that out. And Control E, we're going to edge slide it down a little closer to the hand. And let's round that off a little bit better. Okay, so that's starting to look pretty decent. The pinky now looks a little too skinny compared to the rest of the fingers, so let's select that, and we're gonna Alt-S to make it a little fatter like we did with the thumb. Not too much. Maybe increase our fall off a little bit too. There we go. And let's make the index finger a little skinnier so they're not all the same thickness, because as you know, fingers are all a little different. Okay, so now, like I mentioned before, we'll go ahead and grab these faces here at the top of the fingers and extrude those up. And let's go and turn off the proportional editing and scale that down a little bit. Let's go ahead and Alt-S. Actually, just scale it. No, Alt. And this will be the knuckles. And then there. Okay, so that looks a little weird. So let's jump back into top view and let's bring go to vertex select. Let's bring the back of the base of the knuckles back a little further. Go ahead and turn on proportional editing, on, off, I know, but sometimes you got to do it like that. So we'll drag those back a little bit, and this one as well. Okay, so that's looking a little odd still, so we still have our smooth brush selected. Let's go ahead and just brush it across there, smooth those up a little bit. And let's click in here and let's get our grab tool, come in here and just kind of see if we can't just push them around a little bit better. Okay, that's starting to look alright. Maybe smooth it up again. Increase our strength some. Okay, so the fingers I think are looking okay. Those knuckles are a little odd, but I think they'll work. The thumb seems a little mismatched, so let's select that. Let's put our 3D cursor around the base of the thumb. So let's select this loop right here. Okay, and then we'll go Shift S, cursor to selected, and now we'll select the thumb, not the whole thumb, just that part of it. And go ahead and hit period on the keyboard, so we're rotating around the 3D cursor. Make sure our fall off is turned on. I say fall off. I'm sure if you've watched enough of my tutorials, I refer to the proportional editing as fall off, which I guess works okay if you understand. So anyways, we'll rotate the thumb down a little bit. Let's go to our stage left view, 3 on your numpad. And just rotate that down. like so. And maybe we'll clean up the part in between the fingers now. And let's go ahead and make the thumb a little bit bigger again. This part here is really bugging me. What's going on with that? Okay, that's better. Let's get our grab tool, and let's just grab this part right here. That seems to need to come out a little further. Okay. Getting there slow but sure. Let's tab in here and so maybe the knuckle idea was not a good one. They're kind of misbehaving. Let's select all these guys and just that one too, and do a smooth. Does not want to behave. Keeps wanting to square them off rather than actually smooth them. Because my topology's a little off, maybe. Okay. The hands aren't perfect, but I think they'll work. And looking at them relative to the rest of the body, they obviously need to be quite a bit bigger. So let's go ahead and Control Comma, rotate around the selection again, and just go ahead and scale them up until they look to be about the right size. Maybe about like so. Okay, now we can start working on the rest of the arm. So let's go ahead and drag that forward there, grab our forearm section, and let's go ahead and make the wrist a little bit smaller. Control E and go ahead and slide that down towards the hand a little bit more. And increase our fall off proportional editing there. Okay. And let's add one more loop right in here, just so when we start animating the guy, there'll be more mesh to focus around, or not focus around, but to be able to deform. It'll look a little bit better. Let's make this wrist a little bit thicker vertically. Okay, so forearm's looking okay. I think compared to the hand, it needs. Well, I guess we can just. It's going to move the forearm up, or the elbow up, I guess, but I'll just move the hand down. And that looks a little bit better. Okay. So the forearm to the hand looks okay. Let's go ahead and work on the shoulder. Let's grab this loop here. Well, I guess it's not a loop, but that section. There we go. And let's drag that into the body a little bit better. And maybe add one more loop right here. Scale that down. And then let's grab the shoulder. Maybe scale that down a little bit too. And need to work on the actual shoulder muscle, I guess. Let's raise this up some. Okay. This part here is looking a little odd, so I think the whole arm's kind of bending a little strangely. Let's put our 3D cursor right there around the elbow and do the cursor to selected, and we'll go and rotate around it now. And let's select the bottom part of the arm there, and okay, I think the arm looks a little more natural now. There we go. Put our top view, and let's kind of bend the arm too a little bit. Let's put a little bit of a bend in it. About like so. Okay, I think the arms are pretty well set. The chest is looking a little strange. Let's see if we can't make that look a little bit better. Let's bring this these vertices here out a little bit. About like so. And let's grab our smooth tool, touch this up here. And get the grab. Give him a little bit of a chest, not too much. And we'll smooth that one more time right there. Okay. So it looks a little odd, but like I said, he's going to be wearing clothes, so I guess if you wanted to, you could go in here and delete this loop, but then, you know, when we decide to make this into a female, we won't have very much control over the breast shape, which, depending on the amount of detail you want to add to that, you probably want a few more loops in there. Go ahead and smooth those out. Okay, I think that'll work. Okay, so I think overall we have the general shape of our Tim character here created. The arms, legs, body, and head and everything. And I think that's going to be it for part 5. Part 6, I think we'll come in and start texturing the guy. And give him some, maybe change his proportions a little bit. Right now it's more my style, I guess, than a Tim Burton style, so we might make him a little skinnier, a little more lanky. Anyways, so we'll do that in part 6. So again, this is going to be all for part 5. Let me go ahead and save. There we go. So that's all for part 5. Again, and I'll catch you in part 6.